Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to At Home with Rhonda. Today I am doing my usual walk around in the mornings when I get up. I usually walk outside after the dogs eat and they have to go outside to do their business, and I just kind of walk around and enjoy our property out here. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. We've had a lot of rain in the last few days, so it looks like maybe we're going to have a little bit of sunshine today. So I want to introduce you to two of my dogs, or actually I only have two dogs. So let's see here. This is Harmony. This is little Harmony. We just adopted her in December since she's about 3 years old. She is a Plott hound, which is the North Carolina dog. She's a sweetie. She's still kind of getting used to everything around here. And this is our Penny. Say good morning. Can you say good morning? She's a Plott hound mix. She's a Plott hound and a Labrador retriever. And they're sweet dogs. Very good guard dogs, faithful dogs, sweet dogs. Anyway, I would introduce you. Oh, when we have somebody else. This is our Asher. This is little Asher. He is our cat dog. He actually thinks he's a dog, not a cat. Anyway, so today I have weeds on my mind. If it's garden season, it's weed season, right? Excuse me. Weeds are just something else. You just got to learn to coexist with them. My end goal for weeds is to completely eradicate them. And I want to talk to you a little bit today about how I try to conquer weeds. I don't know that we ever completely conquer weeds, but we can kind of keep them at bay. Because if you don't manage them, they manage you, for sure. And so one of the ways that I take care of weeds around here, not perfectly, of course, it's a never-ending job, but one of the ways that I try to maintain and manage the weeds around here is by working on them every day. This time in the morning, I don't know if you can hear the birds singing. Sometimes there's frogs you can hear in the background, but it's just such a serene time after my husband and I have our morning coffee and our breakfast. He has to go get ready to work, so I just take that time to take the dogs outside and walk around and enjoy this beautiful property. Flowers I have in bloom right now. This is called a Rose of Sharon, and I absolutely love it. It actually is in the family, the hibiscus family, and it's just beautiful. I love it. So after all the blossoms and all the blooms are gone, I will prune it into like a ball, and then again I'll have to do that again in the fall. But it's just really beautiful. Absolutely love it. And the hummingbirds, oh my gosh, the hummingbirds absolutely love the Rose of Sharon. And this gardenia plant is just starting to, we got some blossoms here, as you can see. I wish you could smell how wonderful it smells. Let's see here. Things that I've got going on. But back to weeds. The way that I manage them, or I try to manage them, is to walk around. And, the old saying goes, if you see a weed, you pick a weed. So no matter when I'm outside, if I see a weed, I take 2 seconds and I pull it. And then, like I said, every morning I'll take about 15 minutes and I'll just walk around and I'll pick weeds, and I'll see anything in the yard that needs my attention. Sometimes it's more than 15 minutes. Sometimes I'll take 30 minutes, like right now. Walking around and I see this little weed. So what am I going to do? I'm going to pick it. I'm going to take care of it. What you do? I try to do natural remedies and natural things as much as possible. That's not always the case because there are some things like poison ivy. I'm just not going to be gentle with that. You know, I want to completely eradicate that from my property. And again, I don't know that I ever will because we have quite a bit of it around here. But I do use Roundup. It's an industrial version of it. And I buy it by like the 3-gallon container. And I do use that on those things like, you know, that are just very determined to come back. And I don't know if you've ever had a case of poison ivy, but it's not fun. So for that kind of stuff, yes, I use the Roundup and I spray it crazily. But on the other hand, like, I don't know if you saw my other video that I made a couple days ago about how to make your own pesticide using habanero spray. But for most things, I do try to use that as a deterrent, not for, what do you call it, for weeds, but for pests. So I use that for pests and things, but for weeds, I pretty much just do it by hand, or I have, it's called a hula hoe that I use to help take care of the weeds. Things like this, for instance. All of these little things. Well, all I have to do is to come through here with this hoe, and it just helps to dig those weeds very quickly, pretty quickly. But let me show you my garden. It's a work in progress. It's not completely the way I want it, but this is what I have so far. So I've got my sweet peas. As soon as you walk into the garden, I have that on either side of that. So I'm hoping they're going to do well. As you enter the garden, I have a couple pots here with some Shasta daisies. And also I just planted what's called mandevilla. It's a plant that comes from California. It's a tropical plant, and it's a climber. So it's going to climb up this trellis and look really beautiful. Here's the other pot. Here's my Shasta daisies. They're just such happy plants. Absolutely love them. So I'm hoping they're going to do well. So my sweet peas, and then I have my squash area over here. And funny story, so the other day, when I had planted all of these squash plants to grow, I did label them. You know, I labeled it butternut squash, yellow squash, zucchini, but then when I got ready to plant, my labels were gone. So now I'm calling it mystery squash because I'm not quite sure. I think this is going to be butternut. Looking at this right here, that looks like it's going to be a butternut squash. But we'll see. It will be what it will be when it produces. So anyway, this is my squash area. And I don't know why, but these 3 plants right here are not doing as well. So I'm curious about that. I mean, look at the difference. I planted these at the same time. And then look at these. And then all of this right here, these little plants, I've got them going. Let's see if I can do it like this. Maybe you can see all of those plants. Those are sunflowers. So what they will do is I've got 2 different types of sunflowers growing. I've got a dwarf sunflower and I have the mammoth. And I sow them all together because what happens is the dwarf flowers help to hold up the mammoth flowers. If you just plant mammoth sunflowers, after they get about 6 feet tall, 4 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet tall, they start to bend over because of the heaviness of the sunflower head. And so I've learned that, and I have discovered that if you plant dwarf ones along with it, when they grow up to be, 3 feet, they will actually help to support the larger ones. So, little tip for you there. Let me turn you finish seeing what I've got going on. So these are my baby lima beans. I absolutely love, and I love to see it when it starts to vine out like that. So yep, hopefully we'll get some yummy lima beans. This section right here, as I was trying to figure out what to do and where to plant everything, I had a whole pile of bricks that just really didn't know what to do with, and so I pondered and thought about it, and this is what I came up with. So all of these plants right here are what's called my contender stream beans. My mother was a master gardener, and she always told me only plant contender stream beans. They are the best. They can well, they're delicious, they're tender, they don't take forever to cook. So all of these plants along the perimeter are called contender. Here I've got some Italian oregano, so I'm excited about that. And here I've got, this is a habanero plant. So again, as I mentioned earlier, if you saw my previous video about how to make your own pesticide with habaneros, I actually grow 2 plants a year. So here's my other one. And each plant will produce around 150 habaneros. So I need 20 habaneros per jar, and you can do the math on that. That gives me quite a few habaneros for the season. This is my eggplant. Got a couple blossoms on that, so I'm excited about that. And then my absolute favorite spice in the world is dill. I wish I could just pinch this off and let you smell it. It just smells so good. I just love it. Let's see what else we've got. My garden, actually, I usually don't put my vegetables in my herb garden, but we've had a lot of changes going around, so my gardening kind of got delayed this year, and so I had to make some decisions. I had to change it up. So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna work with what I have, and that's what I've done. So here's some more not squash. I think these are going to be my cucumbers. Like I said, I'm kind of late with getting my gardening going, but it's okay. We're in North Carolina, so we've got plenty of summer left. Some tomato plants. This is my basil patch. So I've got that, all of those little ones. We're going to have a lot of basil to dry at the end of the season. And this is another oregano plant. I actually just harvested some oregano from this plant. Doesn't look like it. I need to do it again. And dried some about, I don't know, 3 or 4 days ago. And here is some tomato plants. This one's actually not looking like it's thriving. More tomatoes. So weeds. Let's get back to talking about weeds. It's so hard, you know, when you're trying to do gardening or you're trying to keep your yard looking nice. It can be so frustrating because you spend so much time organizing, planning, trying to figure out, you know, the best way to arrange your garden or your landscape. And no doubt, you know, you get it all planted, it looks great, and then before you know, let me show you an example. So this is my raspberry patch. It's a little under construction too. Last year, these raspberries filled the whole section, but we had to have a tree stump removed. And so the guy came out, and, you know, as you can imagine, lots of my raspberries got destroyed. But it's okay because they just are determined to live. So as you can see, I've got little patches that are coming up, so that's great. But as well as that is we have this. So what you do is you just pick it. You just pick it. and you go ahead and get rid of it. Sometimes you got to dig down a little deeper. But you work so hard at trying to get everything perfect and beautiful, and you go on vacation for a week and you come back and it's like the weeds have taken over, and it's frustrating. But you just have to work at it. You just every day, like I said, you use Roundup when you have to. Use the good hands that the Lord gave you, and it'll be okay. It'll be fine. So on that note, when I was thinking about weeds earlier today, I was thinking about spiritual weeds. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, oh, here we go. She's going to go there. Yes, I have to go there, because just like weeds in the garden or weeds in your landscape can wreak havoc, those weeds in our lives, those spiritual weeds, sins, they start out small, but then when they're neglected, all of a sudden you realize that you're in a place that you didn't want to be. Those weeds have gotten out of control. And just like maintaining regular weeds, working on it every day, that's what's important. If you go a week, those weeds are continuing to grow. You may not be paying attention to them, but they're continuing to spread. There's a life form that's going on underneath the ground that is expanding those weeds. And there is a life form called Satan, and he is working behind the scenes constantly to just spread those weeds in your spiritual self. And the only way we can maintain those is every single day we bring them to the foot of the cross. Every single day we go to Jesus and we say, okay, Lord, search my heart, Father, and see if there be any wicked way within me. Show me those things. And then when he does, when we can quiet ourselves long enough to listen, to have eyes to see and ears to hear, he will show us, and he will help us, and we can confess those things, and we can eradicate them daily, maybe even like minute by minute, talking to the Lord about those things. Don't spiritually go on vacation and let those weeds get out of control. Bring them to the Lord. He's waiting. He's waiting patiently. He wants you daily and multiple times a day, multiple times a week. He wants you to bring your concerns to him and to talk to him. He's not expecting you to be perfect, but he wants you to be perfected as he gives you the strength to make those changes. So that's my encouragement to you today, is not only do we need to take care of the physical weeds that grow and mess up our yard and wreak havoc, but more importantly, let's pay attention. Let's eradicate those weeds from our spiritual self. And life will be so much happier. You'll have so much more peace. You'll have a peace that passes all understanding, because you will know that you're in right standing, that those weeds have not wreaked havoc in your soul. So that's my encouragement today. I hope that this time at home with Rhonda has been encouraging to you. Thank you for spending these few minutes with me. I really appreciate it. I look forward to it every day, being able to spend these few minutes with you. And if you so enjoy spending time here at home with Rhonda, I would appreciate it if you could subscribe, or if you want to get reminders of my next video, feel free to do that. No pressure. But anyway, you have a good day. You have a blessed day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care. God bless.